Hi everyone. Welcome to another episode of Bharat Talks. And today we have a new topic that is the new woke religion that is rising in the West. We know we are all aware of the word woke right now, right? Let's start. Where did the concept of wokeness originate and
Yeah,
how has it evolved over time, right?
but
Hmm, hmm,
before we do that, we need to tell you all that we are really grateful for your support and
hmm.
we wish to expand this. That is why, if you really like what we have to say, then all you need to do is to share it with like minded people and you can even join us in the conversations. I mean, we are here to build a community and just advocate free speech, right?
Yes,
So,
yes. And we also want to let you guys know if you are interested to join our conversations in the coming episodes, we will have new guests. We already have few guests who have shown interest to join the forum. We will include them in these discussions. We will include them in our recordings. And if you want to be a part of it, please let us know in the comments. You can send a mail to us as well.
yes,
We will respond.
the email ID will be in the description. You can simply mail us that you want to join, and you can even give us topic suggestions that you would like us to talk about.
Sure, sure. And please subscribe to our channel because it will make us really motivated to see the number of subscribers rising. And please share the video with the people, your friends and family, whoever is interested in politics and geopolitics. And let's start then,
Let's
right?
start. And so, we are your friends here. I am B. A is speaking to you from that side, and we are going to talk about a very important topic today, which is wokeism. And A has a very good idea about the origins of wokeism. So, if I have to ask you this simple blanket question, where did the concept of wokeism originate? I mean, how has it evolved over time? It
Okay,
has to have
so
a
let's
start, right?
Yes. So let's start with the word woke. Where did it originate first and how it came to the popular front? Long back, right? I am speaking of the 1940s or 50s, right? That time in the United there was a lot of racial discrimination going on, right? So this woke word is actually coming from it's an African American vernacular English term. Okay. Now this actually meant that for the black people living in the United States at that time to be aware of racial prejudice and discrimination that was going on against black people. It is
So,
still prevalent in the United States, but how the word woke originated, it is this is his history.
so you mean to say that
Hmm.
it's just like waking up to racial prejudice? I mean, the origins were very noble, right?
Yes, it's woke means to be actually alert. So some maybe deeds may be happening with you, right? Some let's say a white supremacist person maybe cussing you, maybe abusing you in public. So you should be aware that this whatever they are doing, it's a racial discrimination, it's a racial slur they are using. So it means actually on your mind to be alert. That
A
what
mind,
it means.
yeah, to be
Mindful, mindful.
to be aware of racial injustices happening in your society and all that, right?
Correct. Correct, correct. Now, if you come to the modern times, let's say in the 2010s, this term definition has actually got broadened, where let's say sexism was included as part of being woke, and also denial of LGBT rights was included along with this term. Now, this happened really recently.
Right.
Okay.
So you mean to say that this movement expanded and other movements joined this movement as well? You are
Yes.
saying that, right?
Uh, Generally, I want to say is that woke became a very broad term,
Right.
right? The meaning of that term, which originally meant actually racial prejudice and racial injustice, now many other movements, let's say denial of LGBTQ rights, sexism, these all came under the umbrella of woke.
All right. So the origins were for a specific purpose, and then that
Hmm.
grew into becoming an umbrella for different organizations, or let's say different ideologies, to find a shelter in one place.
Correct, correct.
I mean,
Different movements also gained traction right during this time.
yeah, and if we have to talk about the current times, then I don't even think any leftist organization are going to call themselves woke, because the right currently exclusively uses wokeism. I mean,
Hmm, hmm.
no leftist is going to call themselves woke, but that's how it is. Anyway, continue.
Correct. Now, why we are, it is my opinion actually, why, uh, as per the time, it has gained more traction and gained more, it has, the term has become broadened, right? Some negative things has also popped up. The first one that I want to point out that happened is the cancel culture, right? So we have live examples in India, which I will share later. Uh, Cancel culture has risen. Like if you are presenting any opinion that is against, that does not agree with their aforesaid principles by the wokeists, by the followers of the woke religion, let's say, they will not argue with you or try to counter you. They will just cancel you. Like they will, like let's say, they will ostracize you. They will do social boycott. Maybe woke mobs will come and visit your profile. I'm talking about the social media right
So
now.
you are telling me
Yes,
the people who were advocating
mm,
free speech are actually the
correct.
ones who are suppressing free speech. Is that so?
Yes, yes. So freedom of speech now, they will say it like that you can't speak against, let's talk about the Black Lives Matter movement. So now this is also a fact that the crimes that are committed in the United States are mostly done by the black people. Now there may be the economical weaker sections of the society, but if you present that opinion, they will call you a racist.
Yes.
Now that is a
If you
fact.
the thing you just said right now, if you were
Hmm.
employed in US and you said this in public, then you would probably lose your job.
Correct. Now, corporations are having, let's say, woke policies. They have to, the HRs are implementing woke policies for their employees that you
Yes,
can't say anything and everything.
but
But you are suppressing dissent, right?
yeah, but you can't blame organizations because they are ultimately companies, right? And they will simply go with the thing that keeps them alive.
No,
We
if
have
you
to
are
blame
talking about,
society for it.
correct. Now, if you go into the very extreme of wokeism, right? Now, this will have business implications also. Investors, right? The companies, these companies will also shy away from investing in these areas because they know that, okay, we have so many principles, so many policies that we have to follow by the government, and also have to ensure that the wokies in those states or in those countries, they are also satisfied. So their principles now, this causes confusion, right,
No,
among the business
it's
people.
not really confusing if we think about it from the context of India,
Mm,
because let's face it, a foreign company, foreign investors are more likely to invest in a BJP state than in any other state, especially in a leftist state, because they know the
mm,
BJP state or the right wing state, so called right wing state,
mm.
is going to provide them land quite easily, is not going to cause problems in their day to day operations, is not going to ask for what we say cut money. But we know
Yes,
the
yes.
leftist organizations in the leftist state, so called leftist state, because no state is leftist,
Mm,
the
mm,
party in power in that state is leftist. In that kind of a
mm,
state, the
mm.
foreign investors know that they are going to have union problems, they are going to have.
Correct, correct. No, you can't have a union, let's say in a multinational company, let's say Microsoft. You can't have workers ganging up and threatening that if you don't increase our wages by this percent, we will not come to work. You can't put the shutter off on the Microsoft,
Just like
right?
something happened at Google a few days ago, if you recall. We
Mm-hmm.
won't go into the protest kind of thing because that is a different topic, a different video. So
Okay.
we would like to tell our audiences to stay tuned for that. The biggest, the longest war and conflict going on and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
yeah, what were you saying about Microsoft?
Yes, yes. Yes. I was actually, before that, I was talking about the cancel culture, right? So let's come back to that. So cancel culture has really been popular in India. Like I'll say one example. Let's say if you are supporting the government, if you are supporting any policies of the government, you will be directly called an anbhakt, right? Now they will not counter you why this. Let's say, for example, let's say Article 370. Now I have my points, you have my points. Let's argue, let's sit and discuss, right? Now, when you present them with some logical points and they fail to argue, they will just call you a on back and leave the table. Now, this is classic example of
So,
cancel culture.
so you are telling me that if you know
Mm,
the concept of blasphemy in Abrahamic religions, they are not allowed
mm.
to say some things, right? That is blasphemy.
Correct.
So you are telling me the left is actually creating their own version of blasphemy, that you can't speak on these topics, that you can't discuss these topics.
Yes, right. That is why this is called a woke religion, right? Now, people are seeing it as a, that is part of my next question, right? People are seeing it as a secular replacement for religion. This wokeism, they are calling it a religion now.
If you ask me about this, then I am going to go back to Darwin,
Okay. Hmm.
right?
Sure.
So
Hmm.
the thing, if we look at the overall Western world, United States, Europe, right? We can even consider Australia into that if we like. We can even consider Taiwan and Singapore into that. So this Western world, and especially Western world in the later part of the 18th century, 19th century, early 19th century, later 19th century. So there was organized religion that took hold of society, that controlled every aspect of society, and it had a few reformations in the form of, let's say, Martin Luther King, and then the Protestant movement and all those, this and that. But it was overall a religious movement. It was under the umbrella of religion, Christianity.
Mm.
But
Correct.
then we come to this beautiful guy. I really respect him, of course, Darwin. And the thing is, he does not go, I mean, his discoveries do not go against Hinduism. So there is nothing for me to go against Darwin. But the thing is, Abrahamic religions have a certain definition of how humans have originated. Adam and Eve, we all know that.
Mm. Yeah.
But this Darwin guy, this old, we, if we think about Darwin, we think of him as a very old guy, but he started his work very early when he was a young guy. Anyway, so when this Darwin guy came, he completely destroyed that notion that humans originated from Adam and Eve. He brought forth the concept of evolution, and he had proof for it. That's the most devastating thing for the Catholic Church and all the other churches, that he had proof for it, and people were actually falling for it. People started to believe it, because if you say, all right, this person stole something from me, people might believe you or might not. But if you show them CCTV footage, then they are destined to believe you, right?
Yes.
So Darwin did that for Western society, and so people were finally questioning the thing that perhaps my religion is wrong.
Mm.
Perhaps maybe this Darwin guy is right.
Mhm.
And so this,
So that's how reforms are brought right in society.
yes, but the thing is, we humans, we always need a wall to rest our back.
Mm.
I mean, we can do something. It's like your parents coming to your sports day, school's sports day. You can be the best player, but if you see your parents in the crowd, then your confidence will be on 120 level. So that is just like that. Religion is just like that. Religion is there to support people.
Mm.
Religion is just there in case, alright, I did my best, but then there is God. If I fall, God will just catch me. That is
Correct.
religion, a societal
Correct.
strength, a hope. But then the Western world,
Mostly hope.
mostly
Mostly
hope,
hope.
mostly hope. But the Western world completely, I mean, got devoid of that hope. If we talk
Mm.
about that, if we think about it as a metaphor, then if Western world is a man, then that man got a big hole in his heart right now. There used to be religion, but then Darwin's theory of evolution just created a big hole in that heart, and they needed to fill it with something, because we humans, we are not just about eating, sleeping and shitting. We need
Mm.
purpose in life.
Mm.
We need higher goals. We need things that we can run towards.
Mhm.
We need an oasis in the desert, right? In the desert of
Mhm. Yeah.
existence. Because we all know we are born, we are destined to die. But then we need something bigger than that, a shining beacon of light. And so, religion was that shining beacon of light. People used to think I am going to die, and then I also have something remaining after that. That I will meet
Mhm.
God, I will go to heaven, this and that. But now that is completely over. But you can't change human thought process within a century, right? This theory of God evolved over thousands and thousands of years of evolution. So
Mhm.
humans will generally fill that void with something else, and Wokeism is that, according to me.
Okay.
And
So,
now, if
mhm.
you call it a secular replacement, of course. Why secular? Because we are heading towards a global world, a globalization, right?
Mhm.
So, secular is just like you get those free spoons with your takeaway order, a Zomato order.
Mhm.
So, free cutlery, secularism is that free cutlery you get.
Okay. Okay. So this we got that
Okay.
wokeism is filling up the new void, right, in the Western countries. So I have an add-on question to that. So are there any equivalent movements that is going on in the non-Western cultures as well? And if it is, and how do they compare?
I can't think of anything like that, but if we talk about sister movements
Mm.
where we generally think of breaking down authority and
Mm.
establishing new authority, because wokeism is just like that, right? Breaking
Mm.
down
It talks
existing.
about revolution. It talks about sudden change, right?
Exactly. Then the only thing that comes to my mind in the modern days, right,
Mm-hmm.
in the current scenario, is the Arab Spring. The Arab Spring also tried doing that, to
Mm.
replace kings and dictatorships with republics, with
But it
Arab.
didn't succeed much, right?
It didn't succeed. It got to arm twisted, like how the Iranian Revolution got arm twisted and Ayatollah came to power, just like that.
Correct. Correct.
I mean,
So
at least they tried.
they had a counter to that, right? Arab Spring, the Islamic movement had a upper hand always, right, over that.
Absolutely. I have a question for
Because
you.
mm,
Actually, something came up
mhm.
in my mind. So, what is the potential of the future woke movement? What do you think about it? How, I mean, where is this going? Does
Okay,
this have an
so
end game? I mean, what will happen to the
mm,
woke movement? Will it change into
mm,
something much more violent? Will we see,
okay.
like, let's say, an association of woke movements around the world coming together?
Okay, so it's very hard to predict, but it will actually determine how the movement, right? How the movement trajectory will be able to navigate the challenges, right? That the wokeism has. Like, for example, the perceived, one of them is the cancel culture, the perceived overreach. Like this wokeism, right, focuses on one of the communities and talks about their everything, their lifestyle, their everything, right? Now, I think there is a overreach over here, right? Let's say you are focusing too much on one community's rights and all. You are completely neglecting the faults that that community has,
You know
right? And if you ever,
what do I think
Mhm.
about it? Something came up in mind that
Mhm.
this woke movement comes purely from privilege. If you are privileged enough, then only you are going to be woke.
Yeah,
I mean, think
right.
about the West. They have their own issues. They have their drug problems. They have their homelessness crisis. They have their inflation problems, right?
Mm,
They
mm,
have
mm,
their,
mm.
still a white cop is going to shoot a black guy. They have those
Correct.
issues. And then they choose issues thousands and thousands of kilometers away from them. If this is not
Mm,
privilege, then what is privilege?
mm.
And
Yes,
the
correct.
audacity to think that this is going to change stuff in the world, that they have
Mm.
more power than, let's say, someone else.
Right now, they are focused on the certain pockets of the American society, but I hardly think that they will respond into a global movement because the world right now is a business-oriented world, right? And if you are for shoving down your thought process and all on these multinational corporations and all, they will have a huge impact on the businesses. And I don't think those corporations will be at some point they have to rethink, right? They can't agree on every policy and every term that these woke religion guys speak about, right? So what I think is that in the global world they will not have any impact, um, because the world now means business, right?
Yes, trade, business.
Correct. And also, I think the people are more in the Western societies, people are moving towards more moderation, inclusivity, right? They won't support
They
a
are,
community or a group just because something happened in the past. Maybe it's still happening. I'm not saying that racial injustice doesn't happen in the West
they are
anymore.
moving towards more moderation, not normal
Correct.
moderation, more moderation.
Yes. Yes. Actually, they are calling the refugees from other states. Please come here.
I
We welcome
mean,
you.
you are going to be surprised. You are not going to be surprised, but some of our listeners are going to be surprised by this, that
Mm.
nationalism is a negative term in the West.
Ah, yes, yes.
I
Correct.
mean, it is a negative term in India as well, in some circles. In some circles, if you are nationalist, then you automatically become an RSS member.
Yes,
Then
correct.
you automatically become the guy who brought down the Babri Masjid. Right?
Correct.
But the
Correct.
thing is, we have to stay in reality. We got beautiful neighbors that really love us and care for us. And
Yes.
if we want a beautiful world where everything is sunshine and rainbows and the sweets and lovely smiles and kisses, then we unfortunately don't have that. We have a very
Mm.
hostile, I would say, neighborhood. We
Mm.
can be good guys, we can be the best guys, but then again, it takes two people to shake hands, right?
Yeah.
You can't apply the Gandhian philosophy everywhere.
Mm.
I mean, if you keep on allowing people to slap your face, then you will not have a face by the end of it.
Mm. Yeah. So now the woke movement will actually depend, right? How effectively it can balance this advocacy with inclusivity, and also they can adapt, right? Because there has been significant pushback from all the right-wing communities, right? And we see a rise of right-wing nationalism even in the Western world. Like say Europe, Netherlands has got a right-wing prime minister.
Yeah.
Few months back,
Argentina.
Argentina has, yeah, Argentina is one of the biggest examples.
I love that guy.
Yeah. So I don't think they will. And if we are speaking on the part for India, right, I don't think they will gain any traction in India. Maybe in some of the left-wing pockets, let's say in Jamia Millia or JNU, they may get, but that is just a handful of people because right-wing populism is on the rise in India. There
See,
is much more emphasis on nationalism and traditional values, right?
the,
So,
the thing with the woke movement is that if I am being
mm,
very kind to them, their
mm,
intention is good. Their
mm.
intention is right, but then again, the intention of the Naxals were good.
Correct. They have broadened their term, right? If you had just focused on the alertness of racial prejudice and the racial slurs and all, I would have supported the movement. But they have risen into a mentality of victimhood mentality. They are cancel culture. They are us versus them. They are creating a social fragmentation in the West, which I'm seeing.
Exactly.
Now,
Just,
this I can't support, right? This is an extreme form of, they have taken it to a whole another level.
I mean, they have become the thing they were protesting against.
Correct. You were protesting for rights, and now you are the one
You
who.
wanted to be the chemotherapy,
Oh,
now you became the cancer.
correct. Correct. That's yeah. So yeah, that's my answer to that question. Right. I don't think they will be. If, I am concerned about the India. I am concerned only about India. So I don't think they have any. In the next 10 or 15 years, I don't see them succeeding in any way. They are trying to import that to India, but I
Yeah.
don't think being that
And
successful.
I see a change in society. If you know about the
Mm.
Overton window, then you will know that India is moving rightwards. And I don't find
Mm.
any fault in that. India is
No.
recognizing that things have been wrong in the past. There were many
Huh.
wrongs in the past, and India is
Yes.
identifying those wrongs, and society in general is trying to rectify those.
The good thing is that we are taking pride of being us. We will not listen what you tell us to do. We will take our own decisions. And that is clear. I think our foreign policy is taking that, because earlier when we also had that, what was the movement that Jawaharlal Nehru started, right? The Indian government is still following. I just forget that term right now. Non-alignment, right? Now it is multi-aligned. So if there is a shift in the external foreign policy, I think in the internally among the Indians, among us, we should also be focusing on that.
That's a
What I
brilliant
feel.
movement. I think we need to do a video about it alone. I mean,
We'll do that, sure.
we are aligned with everybody, from non-alignment to alignment with everyone. We are
Yeah,
Vishwa Bandhu or something like that.
yeah. And I would suggest to our viewers, if any guy with these Wokist principles coming to you, just say them
Guy,
that you will
girl,
not tell us what to do. We have our own movements, we have our own issues. We'll solve them first. This is your problem, deal with it
exactly,
yourself.
exactly. It might be a very beautiful movement, but the thing is, we are not privileged enough for those movements. We need to fix our home first and then look outside.
Correct. So just say them that when our GDP per capita rises to around 15,000 or $20,000,
No,
then we'll
40,000.
think
Make it
about Wokism.
40,000.
Yeah. Yeah. But we are now sitting at $2,000 and we can't speak about your Black Lives Matter movement or your wokeism policies. This is
Yes.
not the time for us. Give us 15 to 20 years more. We'll come back to you.
Yes.
Something like that.
Yes, we will work with you. Don't worry.
But our interest should be first. Yeah.
We probably won't, but okay, let them be happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, I have another question for you, and I'm thinking about it while we are saying that. Can differing views on wokeism create significant divisions? I mean, can it create divisions in society? Can it break or fracture society? What do you think?
For India, it obviously can, because India is a land of diverse cultures and traditions, right? And let's say we have around tribal communities that say around, maybe I don't know, maybe 50 to 60,000. Now if you're focusing on only one community's rights, now let's say under the scheduled tribes, there are multiple small communities, small tribes, right? Now if you speak about someone else's rights, A's rights, now B will come up that I also should get that facility, I also should get that voice. Now this will actually
100%
have
reservation.
social
Are you
polarization.
indeed indicating 100% reservation?
Yeah, it may happen. We don't
That
know
is
if
good.
if it comes to India, if it gets exported
I
to India.
support 100% reservation. Then it's like giving everyone 15 lakh rupees. It will, the 15 lakh rupees will not have any value.
Correct. Yes, correct.
General economics.
Huh. So it will create a social polarization, and it will also again lead to identity politics. Now, political parties will come up and say, "Okay, we will give you these rights, but we will not give them. Now, their party, B's party, will say, we will give you those rights." So this will create a social polarization, and it will eventually lead to identity politics in India if it comes. And there will also be a cultural disruption.
Yeah.
If you see the Hindu religion, right, there are multiple,
We are
some
already
there are
divided.
Vaishnavs are there. Yeah, we are already divided. How much more division do you want?
Exactly.
So
Okay.
we have to be very careful.
So, how do you see the these Western universities? You are seeing that they are holding different kinds of protests, right? So,
Yes.
how do you think this movement is going to go in the future? Do you think that
Well,
they are going to see more public support, or do you think that it is going to move into a
there
different
was,
direction?
whenever the protests started, let's say for the October 7 attacks,
Yeah.
right, against Israel, I don't think there are considerable public support there among the people who are living there, because these countries have imported so much of refugees in the last, let's say, 5 to 10 years. You see huge crowds, right? Let's say you see a crowd of 1 lakh people supporting the cause of Palestine, right? But the thing is, the people who are against it are not coming out, but gradually they are. So we are saying, okay, they are on the rise, but it is not facts. We will get to see that impact in the US elections that will be hosted this year. We will see that.
Yes,
But
generally speaking, the movement.
people are seeing the hypocrisy, right? Their cancel
Yes.
culture is very prevalent. If you counter them, one of the protesters, I have seen videos, if you counter them with facts, they start hurling stones at you.
No,
They shout abuses at you.
or they are going to say, I am not media trained. I will not
Correct.
speak about it. So,
Huh.
you know what I think about it is that This movement, I mean, the cause is good. Who
Hmm,
likes to see people die, right?
hmm,
But then
hmm.
again, you have to see the background of the thing. You have to see the entire picture. You just can't choose to see one side of it and choose to ignore the other side of it. But leaving that aside, these kind of movements, I
Hmm.
mean, they are just going to move the general public
Hmm.
away from their cause. They are just moving
Correct.
general people away from their cause.
People can see through that hypocrisy right now, right? You
Exactly.
can't describe an attack that happened on innocent people. You can't even call them as terrorists, these Hamas people. And you think that the Palestine cause will gain support in the Western world? That's not how it works, right? You should have that tolerant capacity to listen to others
Yeah,
people's opinions also. You can't hurl stones and say, "Oh, we are the ones who have been discriminated
exactly.
against. We have been
I mean,
looted."
you can
Right?
have strong opinions, and I can have strong opinions too. Let us sit down and talk about them in a civilized manner.
Correct. You
If
should have that tolerance level
yeah,
that you can listen.
if you
Yeah.
just don't sit down and talk, then you can't expect the other person to listen to you,
Mm,
because
mm.
that's the thing. I mean, we are going to talk about Israel and Palestine someday, we,
Yeah, sure.
and we would also like to tell everyone we are not experts. We are
Yeah,
nowhere close to experts. We are just two friends talking on a weekend.
correct.
And so, I think that's that. Do you have anything to add?
No, I am done answering that. One question, right?
Yeah.
Uh, that I have is that okay. So this, I think, how do these woke ideologies, right? Have you in your personal life felt that is this affects kind of personal relationships, right, including family dynamics and friendships? What is your view on that?
That's a very good question. I mean, let me write it down because we are going to create an entirely new video about it. On
Okay. Mm,
the topic about this is going to be, if you decide to change your ideology, or if you
mm,
decide to follow something that is not generally followed in society, or your nearest society, let's say your academic society or your
mm,
workplace, then how do you deal with it? What are the things you
mm,
have to face day to day? It's a very good
mm.
topic actually. Thank you for reminding. Let me save it somewhere so that we can create an entire new video on it.
Okay, okay, sure. So, there somebody I was going through some videos that somebody had asked me this question that are there been any instances where you have seen there's this wokeness, right? This wokeness leading to censorship or the silencing of dissent voices, right? So this, I have two examples now. One from the West I have, and one from India I have. Okay, so this I want to discuss before we go off today, right? So J.K. Rowling, right, who was the author of Harry Potter, she had expressed some views on transgender issues, right?
Yeah,
Now, now these guys, wokeism, who are advocating for rights,
she is a
they
feminist, you
completely
know.
shut off them.
She
Yeah,
is
I
a
know.
very, I mean, say, outspoken feminist,
Hmm,
but
hmm.
she is against transgenderism.
Correct, correct. Now she was disinvited from one of the university's speeches where she was called as a speaker.
So you mean to say the transgender movement is hijacking the feminist movement?
Maybe, who knows?
So
Maybe
you mean to
yes.
say men are hijacking the women's movement?
uh, yeah.
Am I
So
putting words into your mouth?
yeah, you're trying. Yeah. So let's talk about the dissent first, right? If you are supporting dissent, if you are supporting racial injustice, if you are talking about rights, you are talking about staying alert and all. Now you should have the capacity to listen to one of the feminists, right? You are against sexism and all, but you are not supporting that. Now, this is one of the instances that from the West it has come up. And another one is that of one of the BJP ministers, Subramanian Swamy. He was invited into IIT
He
Madras
is a
for one of the
frustrated
speeches.
guy. He is a
Yes,
old
correct.
old
But
frustrated guy.
he has the freedom to express his views, right?
Yes.
He was booed and publicly shamed by the students of IIT Madras for simply presenting his views. In an ideal environment, if you are talking about ideal society, right,
Exactly.
the woke who says you should have the patience to listen
I
to
mean,
the other's
I don't,
opinion, however extreme it is.
exactly. I don't like that guy, but that does not mean
Hmm.
I will shut him up. I will listen to him.
Exactly. Listen to him and counter him, na?
Yes, if I don't like someone, then I have to listen to them and then I will understand what they actually mean.
Hmm.
Without watching a movie, you just can't dislike a movie and say that movie is bad.
Correct.
So, I think we have to wrap it up now because people are going to get bored of it.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay, this was our discussion today,
Yeah.
and today we are winding up. See you in another episode. Till then, take care.
Thank
Take
you
care
for
of your
listening
family,
to
and
us.
thank you for listening to us.
Yeah.
And also, if you have, I hope most of the elections have been done, but phase 5 and phase 6 and phase 7 are still yet to be done. So if you fall into those one of those areas, please go out and vote. We can't stress this enough.
Yes,
Every vote
guys.
counts.
Please vote.
Yes.
It does not matter who you vote for. You can vote for BJP. You can vote for, let's say, what the heck, DMK. Let's say you are a DMK supporter. But whatever you do, please vote.
Maybe you are an AIMIM supporter.
Maybe
That
you
also
are
doesn't
an
matter.
independent candidate and you
Yeah.
have your own and you are standing in the election. Then ask your
Correct.
people to vote for you. But
And also
yes,
vote for yourself.
vote for yourself or vote
Yes.
for a
Okay.
strong government in the center. Anyway,
Yeah. Okay.
okay.
And Jai Hind, guys. We'll see you in another episode. Thank
Please
you.
like and subscribe, and of course, tell us in the comments if you like listening to us. And thank you. Good night.
Yeah.
Yeah.